Okay, one of the cool things that we're doing in lesson 13 is learning how to take Illustrator files and create web pages. So using a rectangular space, for example, to create your basic web layout. I find that Illustrator is a really fun way to render graphics for the web. I designed my website for my wedding using this process, and my own web page, my own portfolio web page. I rendered what I wanted it to look like in Illustrator and then cut it up in slices, rectangular slices of various sizes, to optimize and sort of take little pieces of it which would be reassembled by the web. And the only thing that I consider to be analogous to this is sort of like, what is it, Tommy TV in the 1974 version of Willy Wonka, who gets taken apart and put back together as he's moved from Illustrator and then put up on the web. So that's my silly metaphor for the moment. So what we want to do is we've made other parts of our illustration invisible because we want to focus on optimizing, for example, this image for the web, as well as this go symbol and the search field. Each of these slices is going to be its own independent agent. So what you're asked to do in this context is to save for web, and Illustrator has that feature where you save something for the web. When we're doing this, it's looking at this specifically as to how this artwork will behave or be assembled to be optimized or made most efficient for web-based delivery or web-based presentation, because what we need for a print job might be a little bit more beefy than what we actually need to render an object for the web. So I'm going to click on that, and it brings up what's called a dialog box. But it doesn't look like a dialog box because it is the full screen. On page 397 in step 7, it says Save for Web Dialog Box. Well, this is the massive dialog box for this process. We're used to seeing something a little bit smaller. But as you can see, we can shrink the size and what have you. This is really cool. Now, you can look at this a number of ways. What they're asking us to do is to look at it in the 2 Up tab. And that's right up here. I'm going to click the 2 Up, which means that I can compare different configurations of this file as I go about manipulating values. So it's telling me here, this is the original artwork, and this is what it would look like if it were rendered as a PNG.24. It tells me the size right here. It's 2.49 megs, and this is only 923 bytes. Wow, that is impressive. And so what would happen is, looking at my original artwork, I can go over here and manipulate these values, PNG 8, and see that it still looks okay, but I'm not quite sure. Let's try and reduce the colors. Just say that we want to bring it down in size. Let's just bring it down to something absurd and say like 200, or let's say 150 colors. Oops, cancel. And we can manipulate all of these features, which over time you will come to understand how they behave. But they're all different little facets of rendering artwork that may work better for some types of illustration as for others. Another thing for you to notice, these are all your controllable options. This is your image size. This is also how you can really view it at at different sizes to see what the effect is. So you can go up to 300%, and then if you're, oops, you can do that. Let's go back to 100%. And you should be able to, I believe, use the hand tool to move the object around, but I'm not seeing that right now. In any case, if you like how it's rendering in this, and I see no deterioration of image quality by this, so I'm just going to say okay, and then click Save. And what I can call it is 5 little duckies, and I would just save the file like that. And what that does is it saves it in the PNG format and not the AI format. It saves it as a separate file, so I keep my original document in place, and my PNG file is saved almost just a little picture. It's lost its editable qualities. Okay, so I hope that gives you a gentle introduction to this very powerful feature. I encourage you to explore it, but this is how you go about taking Illustrator files and converting them to formats like PNG, JPG, etc. that are GIF, GIF files for the web.